Welcome to FEO On The Air, the voice of the festivals and events industry in Ontario. Please welcome our CEO and your host, Dave McNeil.
Hello and welcome to another edition of FEO On The Air. In our continuing series highlighting different events and festivals happening around the province this year, we're happy to have Tracy Murray with us, and she represents the Gran Fondo Lake Huron. Welcome, Heather.
Hi, thanks for having us.
So for people that are wondering, Gran Fondo, what the heck is that? Can you give a quick rundown on what your event is about and some highlights of what's coming up?
For sure. So Gran Fondo is actually an Italian term, which means big ride, which our event is actually a cycling event, and we offer many distances. And of course, the longest one being over 100 kilometers. So there's your long ride. But we do offer a variety of routes. This year, we've introduced a shorter route, 10 kilometers, for those who maybe felt our previous shortest route of 30 kilometers was a little too much for them to venture out and try for the first time around. We offer 10, 30, 75. We've now introduced an 80-kilometer gravel route this year, and our longest ride is the 110.
And Tracy, having been involved with some biking events in the past, you're talking about sort of a fun ride. Is there a race element involved there? And I know you can't always control that part of it, but can you talk a little bit about that, about the fun and the two sides?
For sure. So it is not a timed event. It's not a race. We encourage people to take their time, enjoy the scenery. We have lots of great, beautiful scenery to enjoy here on the coast of Lake Huron. This year, we've reversed the route. So riders, instead of starting along the shore, will actually finish along the shore, right along the lake, and come into downtown Southampton. It is a fun event, and it is a fundraising event as well. So we encourage our riders to try and raise a minimum of $200 each. It's not enforced, but we strongly encourage it. And each rider, of course, gets a complimentary t-shirt. You're going to get your pass for the barbecue lunch afterwards. It's a lovely catered event indoors out of the sun. And every rider gets a complimentary beer. And this year, our beer sponsor is Three Sheets Brewery, which is located right here in Saugeen Shores in Port Elgin. And
I noticed on your website that you've got a lot of other elements in and around the bike riding. Can you talk about some of those, in particular about your sort of kickoff party on the Saturday night?
Yeah, so our intent with this event, because about 60% of our attendees come from out of town and across the province, we actually have people flying in with their bikes from BC. So people do travel quite a ways and they come up for the weekend. So our goal is to start expanding the event. And this year on the Saturday evening, we are kicking off the festivities with the first annual Bruce County Bash. So that's a live concert event in Southampton at the Coliseum. Opening act will be Tommy Youngstein, and they're going to do their Bruce Springsteen tribute, which is absolutely amazing. And then the main act, 5440, will perform. And again, Three Sheets will be there operating the bar for us. So you can enjoy some local craft brewery beer. Outside, we'll have a number of food trucks, so guests can have something to eat. They can mingle about, they can enjoy the show. They can go outside and have some food and just have an all-around good time. So that's how we want to kick things off this year. We're also adding an element of a kids ride on Saturday morning in Port Elgin. It's a 1 kilometer closed loop circuit, and it's for kids age 3 to 13. Every kid will get a backpack, and they'll do the 1 kilometer loop, and there'll be about 6 or 7 activity stops that they can enjoy. There'll be some little takeaways and things for them to do that they can fill their backpack. And then afterwards, they can enjoy a little barbecue courtesy of the Port Elgin Lions Club.
And of course, you've got beautiful scenery up and around that area. Take us through some of the paths that some of these longer rides might follow and some of the communities that they would go through.
For sure. So our 110, the longest route, starts in Southampton and sort of winds its way. It covers a few communities. It will go as far south as Tiverton. So that's about halfway between Port Elgin and Kincardine. Beautiful scenery out that way, lots of countryside and rolling hills, but nothing too big, nothing too adventurous. We do head out towards Paisley Way. We cut through a lot of countryside out that way, and then back into Southampton. So you're going to see quite a variety of scenery. And if you're coming from the city, it's a great opportunity to see some lovely farmland. We've got a stop along the river at the Tatey Farm, which people seem to enjoy. The river cuts through there, and you can look out over the the scenery is quite delightful. And of course, you're going to finish along the beautiful coast of Lake Huron. So you can't get any better than that.
And knowing bikers and some of their other things they like to do, I mean, it's an affluent community, and it's something that anybody can do as long as you have a bike. Have you guys done a lot of research on the background to riders and what they like to do in and around the events?
We do collect a lot of data. We do a post-ride survey just to get feedback from our riders to see what they enjoyed, where they're coming from, what they like to do while they're here. So this event does have quite a strong economic impact for the community. People are coming, they're not just coming for this event, they're coming for the weekend. A lot of people are now annual riders. They book their annual vacation around this weekend. So they're staying in accommodations, they're dining, they're shopping, they're enjoying all the great things we have here in the community. A lot of biking trails. Our community is known for some fabulous biking through the trail system. Lots of great places to go out and eat and dine. Local restaurants, craft breweries, the great beaches. So there's lots to do besides just riding in our event. If you're coming, come for the weekend, come for the week, stay, play, enjoy yourself. You'll have a great time.
And has your research shown that people have come back other times of the year to enjoy what your community has to offer?
We do. We collect some data on that, not a whole lot, but some people do come up ahead of time of the event to check out the routes. If they haven't ridden before, they come up for a day or a weekend to check out the area. A lot of people are cottage goers who come up here every summer. Either they have a cottage, family has cottage, or they just choose to make this their vacation spot, and who can blame them? It's a beautiful lakeside town and community. We do have a lot of returning riders every year.
And Tracy, I know putting on a ride of this sort takes a lot of people in the background. Can you talk about your volunteer team and what it's like to put on an event like this?
I always say it's a beast. We plan and work on this literally year round. Once this event ends in August, we take a couple weeks off, and September we start all over again. We have a great planning committee made up of some local residents. We have people from Toronto, some of our corporate sponsors who have been in the ride and now want to be involved in the planning because they love the event so much. We have about 140 community volunteers who come out the day of, the weekend of, to help. We always get great feedback from our riders about how smoothly the event runs, how safe they feel when they're out on the roads, and that's all because of our volunteers, the police and medical support. We make sure that everyone feels comfortable out there, they're having a good time, and we certainly couldn't do it without all of our volunteers.
And for those riders that are maybe a little bit curious about how all of the different lengths come together, do the crosses paths, and I know they start at different times and everything like that, but can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, for sure. So everyone does start at the same start and finish line, but different start times for each route. Some of the routes do overlap a slight bit. There are rest stops along the routes, and some, say the 30 and the 75 might share a rest stop, but people are timed in such a way that they're not going to feel crowded. People are arriving and leaving at different times, so you're not going to feel like you're in a big mass of riders. You're going to be able to enjoy the scenery, take your time, enjoy the rest stops. We make sure you're fueled up with hydration and some great snacks, and our event is known for serving fresh baked local butter tarts to our riders. People come back every year and they're like, "Oh, you're going to have the butter tarts again?" Well, of course we are. Yep. So it is a lot of variety to choose from. Riders can ride any route they like. And again, you're not going to feel crowded or overwhelmed. We stage and time everything, so everyone gets lots of great space.
And your rider profile, is it a lot of groups that ride together? Is it a lot of couples? Is it a good mix of everything? Like what's your demographic?
It is varied. A large portion of our riders are in the 50 plus category, but 50 is the new 30. So I say it's an event for everyone. It feels like a big family reunion every year. We see a lot of familiar faces and people so happy to be back. Last year, our youngest rider was 2 and our oldest was 82. So it's an event that has something for everyone. We're seeing a lot more families coming out, which is great with their kids. They're riding in the, believe it or not, the 30K. We've seen kids out doing that one. So we're hoping with the 10K this year that will attract even more young families to come out and take part and enjoy the barbecue afterwards. It is a varied crowd, and we love that we see people of all ages and from all across the province and the United States and across the country.
And Tracy, I don't want to turn this negative, but COVID has had an impact on all of our festival events in the province. And I noticed on your website you used to have a 160-kilometer ride, which you've scaled back for a number of reasons. Can you talk a little bit about that?
For sure. So COVID did have an impact on our event. Vendor costs have increased, which is understandable with everything that has gone on. We made the decision last year. Last year was our first year back after the pandemic. We had to take a little break, and we eliminated the 160-kilometer route just due to increased costs. It was the most costly route to run, and it had the fewest riders. So we figured if we could try eliminating that route, it would reduce some of our costs while affecting the least number of people. We didn't really have any complaints. People who were in the 160 were happy to drop down to the 110. They're still having a good time and enjoying the weekend.
And has COVID affected your volunteer base, or has everybody sort of rallied around and they're back, or has that been a challenge for you?
Volunteers never seem to be a challenge. We have a lot of great supportive people in the community. We have one woman in particular who this year, because the routes changed, we don't have the end of the world hill, as we call it. It was a massive hill. And she would run up and down the hill with a big flag and cheer riders on. And her and her volunteers would actually help push people up the hill if they needed it. So people are just happy to take part. They're happy to support our cause and what we do here in the community. They realize how important local healthcare is. And we try to do things that are fun. And I think volunteers have just as much fun as the riders do every year.
And at the end of the day, it is a fundraising event for your hospital foundation. Can you talk about the impact that has on your community healthcare system?
For sure. So the government doesn't support the purchase of medical equipment. So communities have to fundraise to purchase things like x-ray machines, CT scanners, all that sort of equipment needed in the hospital to provide the healthcare that people need in our community. So this event, this year, we're calling it our $1 Million Ride, because fundraising dollars this year will likely go over the cumulative total of $1 million since the event started in 2018. This year, riders are riding for mental health. Grey Bruce Health Services is in the process of renovating a new facility in Owen Sound for mental health and wellness, which will serve residents right across Bruce and Grey County. So funds raised this year will go to mental health, and of course 100% of rider raised dollars goes right to the cause.
And that's fantastic. And you're a fairly new organization. I mean, you kicked off in 2018, so you had a couple of solid years, and then bang. What did you do to keep everybody engaged over that COVID period?
So 2018 was our first year, so we had 2 great rides, and then of course the pandemic came. 2020 we shut it down. Of course, the pandemic was new and nothing was going on, so we had to make that decision, pull the plug. The following year in 2021, we did have a virtual event. It was much smaller in size, about 120 people I think took part. And they raised over $100,000. So it was still a great effort. It was fun to engage some people and get people out and active during the pandemic. And last year was our first year back, which was so great to see everyone. We had nearly 700 riders and over $400,000 raised, which helped complete our fundraising campaign for a CT scanner of $3 million. So it was electrifying when we made the announcement at the after ride picnic of the total that was raised that day. People were jumping up and down, screaming and clapping. They were so proud of themselves, and as they should be. They did a great job fundraising, and we can't wait to have everyone back again this year.
And Tracy, what is your basic marketing? Is it word of mouth now that you've kicked off and it's become an established ride, or what are some of the techniques that you use to attract new people into the community and into your event?
I think we've gained a pretty good reputation with our previous riders. A lot are returning riders, a lot are word of mouth from those people that have ridden in the event. We get a lot of people coming on that way. They say, oh, I've heard about it, or my friend rode in it and they told me how great it was, so now they want to join. People bringing extended family to come and join them in the event. We have a lot of corporate teams that now form. Our sponsors are so supportive, and they have so much fun that they're bringing people from their corporations. We have people flying up from Texas to take part this year because their corporate team is in the event and they've heard how fun it is, so they want to try it out. So we're giving a big Bruce County welcome to everyone who joins us this year.
And the community support. I mean, there's some interruptions for people in and around with some road closures and stuff like that. But does the community see the benefit that comes out of these type of events?
I think so. We try to keep disruptions to a minimum and alert everyone ahead of time, lots of signage, and we're really appreciative of the public letting us take over the roads for a couple hours on the Sunday. But we have people who come out all along the course and cheer the riders on. So I think everyone appreciates the fun that it is and the cause that it supports. And we do get a lot of feedback, especially from our out-of-town riders who say, it's just one of the best parts was when I'm riding and there's people, strangers out there cheering me on like they're my family. So that it's like one big family here in the community. We support the event. The people come out and support the event. They make everyone feel like they're at home when they come and visit us here.
So Heather, before we go to commercial break, I'm just wondering, is there any last impression you'd want to leave with anybody? Maybe go over your event dates again. Is it too late to register to be involved in the ride this year?
So it's not too late. Registration usually stays open until about a week before the event. The event this year is on the weekend of August 20th. That's the Sunday. The ride is on Sunday. The concert, of course, is on the Saturday night, August 19th. You can go to our website, smhfoundation.ca, to learn more about the event, or you can go right on the Gran Fondo website, Gran Fondo Lake Huron.ca. You can see maps about the routes. You can see more information about the concert. You can click on register yourself and your family. It's a pretty smooth, slick process. Once you register, you get your own little fundraising page. You can share that link out to friends and family on your social media, email, get some fundraising done. Come out and join us. Get in on that picnic fun afterwards, the complimentary beer. And if you like, get your concert tickets. They're almost gone. So you want to jump on that soon. And we hope to see everyone out there.
And Tracy, I know these events are tough events to run. There's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes that people don't think about. Have you worked with any of the cycling associations to help you build up the base here and get into this program?
We do work with Multisport Canada, a fabulous company who helps set up the route. Their expertise is the cycling, so we leave that part to them. They design the routes. They make sure they're well signed, that we have police and medical support, and they look after that for us. We just make sure we bring the people out, get them there, feed them, and keep them happy. And Multisport does a great job of providing safe and fun routes for them to ride on.
Well, thanks very much, Tracy. Sounds like a great event. We hope you guys surpass your fundraising goals for this year. We're just going to head to commercial here. When we come back, we're going to talk to Heather Hyde, who's with the Economic Development town of Saugeen Shores. And she's going to talk about some other things to do in and around the area if you're coming in for the weekend or if you want to make an extended stay. So FEO On The Air will be back in just 1 minute.
Festivals and events are back in Ontario, and so are we, with a brand new website. Learn what's happening in your community, on your mobile phone, or your computer. Plan your festival season. Share those plans with your friends. It's fun at your fingertips. Ontario, we're back. Festivalsandeventsontario.com.
Welcome back to FEO On The Air. I'd like to welcome now Heather Hyde from the Economic Development Offices at Saugeen Shores. Welcome, Heather.
Thanks for having me.
It sounds like Tracy and her team have a great event up in your area. For people coming in for the weekend or the week, or maybe extending their stay or coming back, can you talk a little bit about what the communities in that area have to offer and some highlights for things for people to think about coming into your area?
Absolutely. I want to thank Tracy as well, because she puts on this great event and it brings so many people to our community. The community of Saugeen Shores is a really outdoor, active community as it is. So having an event of this type is a great partnership. And we have a lot of outdoor activities that people can do apart from cycling. Some of the things we're best known for, of course, is our beaches, but for those who really enjoy outdoor activities, we have 5 golf courses, Southampton is known for its great tennis. We've got fishing, we've got hiking, we have over 40 kilometers of trail and 18 kilometers of waterfront. So there's definitely no shortage of things to do. We also have, things that you can rent and use for the weekend if you're in and you don't have your own. So there are canoes and kayaks that you can rent. And even down at the Port Elgin main beach, we have paddle boards for rent as well. So people can enjoy those.
And I notice Bruce Power is a big supporter of the Gran Fondo. Are there things to do in and around the power plant, and tours or anything like that people can access?
Absolutely. So as you mentioned, the Bruce Power is about 25 kilometers south of Saugeen Shores and has a huge economic impact on our area. Many of their 4,000 employees live in Saugeen Shores and surrounding areas, and they do have a visitor center. So people are free to tour the Bruce Power Visitor Center, and they've brought back, since they weren't able to run them during COVID, but now they do have back the bus tours through site as well that people can sign up for and take, which I would highly recommend. That's a great tour.
And we're talking about the Gran Fondo, but are there any other festival and events that come to mind up in that area that people should put on their calendar and think about moving forward? Don't want to put you on the spot here. But.
Oh, no, absolutely. We are, as it's no surprise to anyone, that we are a major destination during, high season, which is our summer months. And there are lots of great things to do. So every Wednesday, we have a Port Elgin farmers market in our downtown core. On Fridays, we have a market in Southampton as well. And then for those who are coming for the Gran Fondo, I encourage you to come back in the fall, because we have beautiful fall colors for people to see. There's amazing accommodations if you're looking for a small boutique hotel, if you're looking to rent a cottage, or even if you're looking for one of the major hotel chains. Whatever you're looking for, we can accommodate you. We have a couple of events that happen in the fall. One is Live at the Lake, which is run by our Southampton Business Improvement Area, which is a great weekend full of events. Our most famous and premier event is Pumpkin Fest, which has been, a staple in our community for decades, and that happens in the fall as well. So if you haven't seen the largest pumpkin of your life yet, I would really encourage you to come check it out, because it's really quite something to see.
So Heather, if somebody's looking in for what to do and where to book, is there somewhere that they can go to? Do you have a website that people can find?
Absolutely. For our business directory, anything that you're looking for in terms of a calendar of events, places to stay, places to eat, businesses to visit, you can check out our visitsaugeentshores.ca website. We've called it Explore the Shores. So you'll see the landing page when you log on, and you can get all kinds of information on the community when you're planning your visit there.
So just as a lasting impression, and I know that the biking community is also a culinary community. I'm going to ask you both, what would be your must stop in your area if you're coming into town? We'll start with you, Heather.
That's a great question. It's so hard to pick just one. As Tracy mentioned, we do have a couple of breweries in town, and we have lots of restaurants. And in the summer, they have amazing patios with live music. Depending on what you're looking for, we've got fine dining. We've got great pub food. As Tracy mentioned, we're known for our amazing butter tarts as well, and baked goods. So there's lots to choose from. And I would say too that my personal favorite is really just walking up and down to the downtown core, and I kind of pop in and out of, and maybe I get a cookie from this place and I get a smoothie from the next one, and I pick up my lunch from the one after that. So there's lots to choose from.
Oh, that was very politically done. Well done. Now, Tracy, what about you? Do you have a favorite in and around the area that people coming into town, it's a must stop for you?
Oh, it's so hard to choose. I don't think I've ever had a bad experience at any restaurant. I say pick a patio, enjoy the view, whether it's downtown or over by the beach. Walker House, Wismer House, those are great favorites with great patios. You can people watch, you can look at the water. Honestly, you can't go wrong. You pick a place, you're going to have a great experience.
Well, it certainly does sound like a fun weekend. Again, we're talking about the Gran Fondo in Lake Huron, and registration in the party on Saturday, August 19th, and the rides are on Sunday, August 20th. Again, Tracy and Heather, thank you very much. I hope your community gets the support you're hoping for, and I'm sure you're going to go over your $1 million goal this year. So best of luck to both of you, and we'll be back again featuring communities around our province that are hosting festival events throughout the summer. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to FEO On The Air, the voice of festivals and events in Ontario.